safety and security net. Please take care and perpetrating on and off trains as underfoot surfaces may be affected by the weather. Government guidance.
Hello again, and welcome back to our workshops from the Glasgow South Modern Tram and Rail Group. I was down at Maxwell Park the other day just to kind of check things over, make sure everything was okay, and while I was there I decided I would give you a wee tour of our new layouts control panels. So I did, I like you see inside them, which you'll see in the next wee bit of video. There was one panel, the Goodyear panel, that I couldn't find. It must be there somewhere, but I just haven't come across it. As well as that, there's one or two other things that we've got on. One of them was, I think I indicated to you that I got a DCC Concepts Rolling Road as a present from a Christmas, and I intend to build a fully thingy test bed with the voltmeter and the ammeter incorporated. I've got the voltmeter, and I still have got the ammeter, but it wasn't the one I really wanted, because obviously if you reverse the controller, the ammeter won't reverse, neither will the voltmeter, come to think of it. But there is a way around that, which I've discovered. But I managed to get an ammeter where the needle is in the centre of the travel, so when you reverse it, it will reverse the polarity. I'm still waiting it coming. I've got the voltmeter. I went for a 20 volt DC voltmeter, and it's fairly accurate with my power supply that I use. I set that with a digital voltmeter to exactly 12 volts, and I put the new meter across it, and it showed exactly 12 volts, but it does say you've got to allow for 2.5%, I don't know if it's 2.5% or whatever error, but it's fairly accurate, I would say. So I'll bring the camera back a wee bit to give you just a wee bit insight into what I've been doing. So give me a minute. So here we are, folks. I'll zoom in a wee bit. Let you see this. This is the voltmeter that I got. It's slightly bigger than I thought it would be, but that's not a negative sign. The reason I thought it would be smaller is because that is the ammeter that I had, the first one I bought. It wasn't expensive, so you can see the difference in size there. Now I have checked the size of the new ammeter, and it's roughly the same as this. It's not, maybe about 5 millimeters out or something of a difference, but that's nothing out of hand. We can cope with that. I've also made a cardboard template so that this will fit into the panel I'm going to make for the rolling road. So that's that. I've also got somewhere a new reversing switch, because in order to get this to read both ways, you've got to put in another bridge rectifier. So the actual direction switch on the controller is no longer used, but what you do is you put a bridge rectifier between the controller and this, and you put the new direction switch after the meter. That way this will read both ways, no problem. I also had, a couple of years back, we had a control panel for one of our layouts, and unfortunately one of the, I think it was Peacock Cross, I think, one of the control panels got water damage, and with the result that the direction switch was seized up, this switch here. Now these things are guaranteed for life, but if you let water damage into it, obviously that's not going to apply. So I decided, in fact I think the club was going to fling this out, so I decided, right, I'll take it on, and I managed to, let me see if I can get a wee bit further in, guys. I managed to unsolder the old direction switch from the board, took photographs of where everything was. We had a couple of direction switches anyway, so we managed to do that. The other problem was that the original potentiometer, I couldn't get the knob off it, so I had to drill the screw out, which meant that the shaft of the potentiometer was gubbed. So I decided just to put a new potentiometer in, so I sent away, got one of them, got a new knob altogether, which is slightly bigger than the original, but that's not unsurmountable. Wait a minute, you see, I think that looks quite presentable. This here is still to be painted, so obviously any warranty that was there is gone. But I have tested this. And it does work, and it works pretty accurately, to be quite honest about it. So I'm quite pleased with the progress that I've made. There's always new improvements you can make, as well as that, the knob, you got two in the pack, so I've got a spare, and I think that's about all I can really say. There's not a lot. One thing I did, I have been found out that the Louisiana Jordan Hospital in Glasgow is to close at the end of this month. The vaccination centres to be put into the Oasis, which means that the SEC, once they've dismantled everything, will revert back to the exhibition centre. So there is a possibility, and I'm only saying a possibility, that Monorail Scotland will take place next year. Depending on what lockdown's like by then, hopefully we'll all be vaccinated, and things are a wee bit more back to normal. And again, it depends on the restrictions that are in place at the time. But I mean, if you're going to commit to have an exhibition, you can't pull it at the last wee minute. So hopefully this will start to see some more railway shows starting to take place again. So with this wee bit of the workshop finished, I'll hand you over to me and myself down at Maxwell Park. Hello folks, I'm down at Maxwell Park just now at the club rooms, and I just thought I'd do a wee video on our new layout, Maxwell Wharf. Like you see the control panel, this is the main control panel. This here is the control for the line from the fiddle yard, or the traverser rather, down to the station. And here is the station with the three lines with the three-way point. It's an isofrog point, and that's the station area. The other controller over here, this is the local control for the whole of the station area, so you can control it independent of the main controller. If you wanted to do a bit of shunting round about, I'll let you see inside the panel. Don't get too scared though. Here we are. This is the wiring. These blue things here, these are thermal cutouts to protect if there's a short, these things kick in, cut the power off. Not only does it protect the controllers, it protects the transformers in the box. We have our capacitor discharge unit here, which is still to be wired in. Now this module here, this supplies the whole of the layout with 5 volts for the LEDs. It can give you up to, I think it's 5 amps of power, but it runs a wee bit hot, so hence we put these bulldog clips on it just to disperse the heat a wee bit. This is just a relay. I can't remember if that's for the double slip or not. It's for something, I think. I just can't remember what we did with that. So that's the inside of the panel. As you can see, we do have diagrams to back this up, so it's not as if we're working blind. These here are the D connectors going out to the rest of the boards. Now, here we have the double slip in the station area, and it's all isolated right round. It's an Insofrog one, by the way, and we have the controls here, either the green cab or the red cab or the local cab, so you can have anything running through that, and you've got no problem with it. That's just the good yard. There is another siding in here, but it's on the local panel. So that's that. I can't remember if I mentioned that the control here is the one with the simulator on it. Not really necessary on an end-to-end layout, but more for a circular layout. But we bought these anyway. This is the panel at the other end of the layout. This is the bakery complex here. It runs off the main line. You come on to a head shunt and into the bakery complex. Another head shunt here. This line going here is for the ramp to the engine shed complex, which is a separate panel of its own. Again, we've got the control with the simulator on it, so that the same as the other one, as I said, not really necessary in a layout like this, but worth putting in. You've always got them. And we've got the local control for the bakery complex, which on the control there it says creamery, but we changed it to a bakery, and one of our good friends made the bakery for us. Here it runs off the panel into the traverser, or I should say traverser turntable. Again, I'll let you see inside this panel. There we are. Now that's the fascia, and that's the wiring at the back of it. And again, we've got the capacitor discharge here for the points. This here, I was wondering what this was. I had to look at it. It's actually for the ramp to up to the engine shed, so that when I'll let you see here, when this point here is thrown, there's a blue LED lights up, and as you can see, it goes in and then it changes to blue. That there is only live when this point is changed for the shed, so nothing can run out if it's not supposed to. It's just a relay to energise this bit of track, so there can't be any accidents. We always put safeguards in, folks. Here we have the engine shed panel, which is, you're looking at it the other way from what we were before. There's the line coming up into the head shunt at the engine shed, and then over the shed areas here, and these are just ash pits and stuff. Again, we've got a three-way point in here, insofrog as well. Again, here's the inside of the panel. You can see the complexity of it, but we managed to build it in a fairly short time, being quite honest about it. The layouts took a lot longer. The wiring of the boards I did. My counterpart Bernard, he built the panels themselves. So there we are, that's that one. The final panel we have for this layout is the goods-yard panel. Here we have the goods-yard here, coming in off the main line. That's a platform road. The other two are sidings. Then we come down into the double slip again into the wood yard. We've got a wood yard, and then that branches off into the docks. Again, we've got the double slip with the 4 operating buttons and the control for which cab you're going to use, plus the local control. So that completes all the panels. Unfortunately, this one's actually screwed shut, so I can't let you see inside it, but it's basically just the same as the rest of them. So there you have a complete tour of the control panels from a new layout, and hopefully you'll see us sometime at Model Rail. Goodbye for now.
Speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We will sort it, see it, say it, sorted.